Hi, I'm Brittany and welcome to Proverbs Study. So today we are continuing in Proverbs 6 verse 7 and we're going to do 8. So Proverbs 6, 7, and 8 says, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. So this is who we're talking about, the ant. Why are we talking about the ant? Because God went on this little tangent after making sure that we know how to deliver ourselves from being the co-signer on somebody else's debt by identifying that laziness or sleep is one thing that can keep us from being delivered. God is so gracious to give us all of this information and all of this instruction. So now, just in case you felt like still sleeping to avoid being that person's alarm clock to make sure that their debt doesn't fall back on you, this is why you should do that and do it swiftly and urgently. So Proverbs 6:6 started with, go to the ant, thou sluggard, okay? Or lazy person. Consider her ways and be wise. And I'm just going to read it to you in the Hebrew interpretation of these words. So, who without ruler or man in authority or officer or official of an ant or someone having rule or dominion over the ant fixes so as to be ready and makes ready or prepares a gift of food in the summer season and gathers that food that's made ready for the ant in the time of harvest. So this is what the ant does. The ant is very wise because it does not need anybody to tell it to handle its business. It knows that it wants food and that there's going to be a time where they can't find any food. So what do? In the time where food is abundant, in the summer, the harvest time, they go out aggressively and they find that food. They make it ready. They prepare it. They prepare a gift for themselves for when the time comes where they won't have any food. They make a gift for themselves. And I like how it said prepare a gift. And that is the word provideth. That means, that's the Hebrew word kun, and it means prepare a gift. If we think about it, for me, if I think about it in that context, it makes the process a little bit more appealing. I know for a fact that in our American culture, we are very coddled. And in other countries, they call Americans lazy, right? We have a lot of statistics to back up that laziness, right? Meaning we're in one of the most abundant and free countries, but we still suffer from poverty. A lot of times, not because the man is holding us down, not because we don't have access, but because we refuse to go and get what we need for ourselves and store it up for a time when there won't be anything. And I'm not talking about in a time of a famine or a pandemic where we ran to the stores and took everything off the shelves and hoarded things and then sold them at a higher price to people who were in need. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the diligence of the ant that we're learning from, that simply takes care of their business, taking care of our business when we're supposed to, when the time of harvest is abundant, when it is available to us. Yes, times are hard, but there is increasingly less excuses, fewer excuses out there for us not to be able to provide for ourselves. Now, yes, if we have children, it becomes increasingly harder. I know all these things, trust me. I'm a caregiver, a wife, and a mom of 3. I understand completely. And I thank God for the assistance that is out there that I've gone to get when I wasn't able to be diligent. I understand I've gone through mental health issues. I understand, okay? All of this stuff, pregnancy, disability in my household, I understand. And now, being wiser, I understand more that when I have the opportunity to, I should have been more diligent, even a little bit more diligent about storing up what I needed for the time when there was going to be little. There's a lot to learn from my own life and how this is so much blessing me to even share this with you, because I've been through a lot. And there were times when I was the sluggard in Proverbs 6:6. I was lazy. And then I was doing Proverbs 6:4. I was sleeping, or doing the opposite of Proverbs 6:4. I was sleeping to avoid activity that I didn't enjoy. And that wasn't fair to me. It wasn't fair to my household. And it wasn't fair to my children. Because I decided to take the easy way out instead of being diligent so that I could rest more in this time of harvest. Now, it doesn't mean that God is not going to provide. It doesn't mean that He has not taken care of every single need. It doesn't mean that He's not always looking out for us. He's still a good and loving Father. He's always going to give us and foresee our need, even in the midst of our own laziness, our own indolence, or avoiding activity, right? He's still going to provide and be so good to us in ways we could not ever deserve. However, when we get old or older, we should start learning from the lessons of our past. And that's just in the space that I'm in. And that's what I'm expressing. I'm learning now how diligent I should have been earlier in life. Because in this time where I am now having to balance a lot of things, it's taking a lot of discipline for me to focus so that I can balance everything. When if I was more diligent earlier in life, I wouldn't have had as many things to balance. There's always going to be a challenge to life at any season of your life, but sometimes your diligence makes it easier when you can't foresee things that will go wrong in the future. So that is the wisdom that I'm sharing from my own experience and from the heart of God today, from Proverbs 6, 7, and 8. And so I hope this helped you. Please let me know. I love hearing your feedback in the comments of how this is blessing you and how it is encouraging you, because it sure is encouraging me. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day.